On today's Sports Center, a surprising twist caught everyone off guard. While all the attention had been centered around DeAnthony Melton and Bradley Beal potentially teaming up with the Lakers, a new development quietly emerged that could drastically shift the team's direction heading into next season. According to the panel, Pelinka appears to be working behind the scenes on a strategy nobody had anticipated. This fresh intel, just reported, might carry major implications for how the Lakers plan to structure their roster around LeBron James and Luka Doncic. The segment also included intriguing insights into Jake Laravia's decision to sign with Los Angeles, as he opened up about why the Lakers stood out to him above other interested teams. As reported during the show, Laravia was candid in explaining that culture and opportunity were the driving forces behind his choice, and Lakers fans should take note. Now, before diving deeper into the core of this report, I just want to say, if you're following this journey and haven't yet subscribed to the daily Lakers breakdowns, now's the time. The off-season is heating up and big stories like this are dropping fast. Stay locked in. Back to the breaking news. Over the last 24 hours, the Lakers have been linked to several names, with Melton and Beal being the primary focus. But, as shared on Sports Center today, the real story is the Lakers quietly initiating talks surrounding a few unexpected targets. 3 names surfaced: Matisse Thybulle, Dosunmu, and Marcus Smart, with Dosunmu quickly becoming a central point of interest. According to Anthony Irwin, Los Angeles has held early-stage discussions with teams regarding the availability and trade price for those players. No formal offers have been submitted yet, but the interest is legitimate, particularly in Dosunmu's case. Now let's talk about what makes Dosunmu a fascinating option. He entered the league with the Bulls and has shown solid progression each season. Last year was arguably his most productive stretch: 12 points, 4.5 assists, and 3 rebounds per game. While not known as an elite perimeter defender, he does bring speed, toughness, and youth. He's only 25, and that fits right into what Pelinka is trying to build. His perimeter shooting has been inconsistent, though. He attempted over 4 threes a game last season, hitting just 32% of them. However, the season before, he shot 40% from deep, so there's clearly potential if the consistency improves. It's becoming clear that the Lakers' front office is emphasizing point-of-attack defense and backcourt facilitation, aiming to complement Gabe Vincent with a younger, more dynamic presence. And Dosunmu checks a lot of those boxes. There's also the contract situation. As discussed during the segment, Dosunmu is heading into the final year of his 3-year, $21 million deal. That makes him a team-friendly expiring piece, a low-risk move with potential upside, especially if he finds chemistry alongside LeBron, Luka, Austin Reeves, and even someone like DeAndre Ayton, if a lob-heavy system is used. Back on Sports Center, the panel shifted focus to the Lakers' potential pursuit of Dosunmu, a name that caught many off guard. Analysts pointed out that if Dosunmu were to land in Los Angeles, he'd step into a much more stable and structured environment compared to what he experienced with the Chicago Bulls, a franchise that's been stuck in transition with constant player turnover and ongoing uncertainty around stars like Zach LaVine. Despite the turbulence, Dosunmu proved to be adaptable, having played alongside Nikola Vucevic, a big man more comfortable on the perimeter than in the paint, which could bode well for his fit next to players like LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and DeAndre Ayton in LA. One key issue the show addressed was the Lakers' lack of guard depth. It's been a topic of concern for a while now, and SportsCenter emphasized how Pelinka seems determined to address it. While Gabe Vincent remains in the mix, the rest of the guard rotation feels uncertain. The panel noted that while LA has wings like Dalton Neck and Jake Laravia, who bring versatility, they still need more structure in the backcourt. Shake Melton, who's expected to be waived soon, would likely just be a salary filler in any trade. The trade proposal floating around, according to ESPN insiders, involves Necht and Melton in exchange for Dosunmu. But realistically, this would be Necht for Dosunmu straight up, with Melton included just to make the math work. That idea sparked debate among the analysts. Some believe Knecht is a valuable asset the Lakers should hang on to, potentially packaging him later with their 2031 first-round pick or one of their swap rights for a bigger name. But with D'Anthony Melton seemingly headed to the Golden State Warriors, the urgency in LA's front office may have just ticked up a notch. The panel also questioned whether the Lakers should rush into a move just to plug the point guard gap. Dosunmu isn't a star, but he's a reliable rotation player. He'd immediately become LA's backup point guard and likely their 6th or 7th man off the bench, depending on how the coaching staff evaluates Jake Laravia and what kind of role Bronny James actually plays in his rookie year. Essentially, this would be a young player for young player swap. Knecht, though slightly older, is less proven and more of a raw shooter. Dosunmu, on the other hand, is already a solid contributor with a lower ceiling, but perhaps a higher floor. There's even speculation that he could take a leap forward in LA's system, and that's what makes the situation intriguing. The show then circled back to the Lakers' broader interest in 3 names: Dosunmu, Matisse Thybulle, and Marcus Smart. From a win-now perspective, Smart makes the most sense. But if the team is looking for long-term value and player development alongside Luka and LeBron, then Dosunmu or Thybulle might be more realistic option. Thybulle, especially, was mentioned as a low-cost target who fits the Lakers' defensive needs, even if his shooting remains a major question mark. Before wrapping the segment, SportsCenter also gave a quick update on DeAndre Ayton, noting that he seems locked in mentally and physically heading into the season. Responding to past criticism from his time with the Suns and Trail Blazers, Ayton told reporters, "If it fuels me, this is a platform I can't run from." The show's hosts agreed. If you're playing in Los Angeles alongside Luka and LeBron, mental toughness and focus are non-negotiable. On SportsCenter, the panel pivoted to Jake Laravia, who recently shared his thoughts on why he chose the Lakers in free agency. Laravia made it clear he wanted to join a team where his role could grow, where he could develop as a player and find long-term value. Speaking to reporters, he said, "I was trying to decide which team was the best fit, where I could see my role expanding and my potential continuing to grow. I think the development process is going to be great for me. I think as far as the way the team is set up, I'll fit right in." The SportsCenter hosts agreed. His mindset is exactly what you want from a young player entering a new locker room. There's growing confidence that Laravia could become one of the better contributors off the bench, especially if DeAndre Ayton also delivers the breakout season many are anticipating. But right when things seemed to settle, the show took a dramatic turn. The hosts revealed there's a major shift happening behind the scenes in LA, and multiple updates started pouring in that could reshape the Lakers roster once again. It's clear now, Rob Pelinka is preparing to make his move. The tension is rising, and with the trade market heating up, just one day removed from the Norman Powell deal and the surprising Kelly Olynyk to Spurs trade, the Lakers' next step could come at any moment. The first domino might be connected to D'Anthony Melton. As recently as last week, the Lakers were viewed as frontrunners to land him, but that momentum has faded. Eric Pincus, who dropped fresh intel late last night, now believes the Lakers are shifting their focus to Bradley Beal. According to Pincus, there's growing belief Beal will end up in Los Angeles on a 2-year deal, likely with a player option in the second season. SportsCenter analysts broke it down. Beal is currently working on a buyout with the Phoenix Sun, a deal many expect to become official very soon. His massive contract, combined with a no-trade clause, has made him nearly unmovable via trade. But now that both sides are nearing a buyout, the Lakers have emerged as a top landing spot, though Miami, the Clippers, Golden State, and Milwaukee are also watching closely. The report suggests that Beal, despite a difficult stint in Phoenix, still averaged 17 points per game, while knocking down nearly 39% of his shots from deep. If the Lakers land him, it would likely be on a shorter deal, and geographically, the fit makes sense. He's already in the West, and the Lakers are close to home. But there's also talk that the Clippers may have jumped ahead in the race in the last 24 hours, something SportsCenter panelists say could add fuel to the fire in this ongoing arms race between LA's two teams. And this brings up the big question posed live on air. Should the Lakers go all in on Bradley Beal? He's still an elite scorer when healthy, no question. But with so much of the conversation around the Lakers focusing on defense, would adding another offensive-minded player be the right call? Beal doesn't exactly fix their perimeter defense, something the franchise is trying to patch up. Still, there's no denying what a player of his caliber could bring in terms of shot creation and floor spacing, especially alongside LeBron James and Luka Doncic. With Summer League games rolling in and executives all gathering in Las Vegas, the general consensus from the show was simple: keep your phones close. Rob Pelinka is working the phones, and the Lakers might not be done yet. Back on SportsCenter, the hosts continued their breakdown of the Lakers' off-season maneuvering, shifting attention to the bigger picture and the growing problem that's hard to ignore. Los Angeles has one of the thinnest benches in the league. The analysts didn't sugarcoat it. Scoring off the bench is close to non-existent. Sure, you can point to Jake Laravia as a possible spark plug, or maybe Dalton Knecht shows improvement. But as it stands, the Lakers are desperate for firepower, and that's exactly why Bradley Beal's name keeps surfacing. According to insider Eric Pincus, Beal is being seriously considered by the Lakers, not just as a luxury, but as a solution to their offensive drought when LeBron and Luka aren't on the floor. At the same time, the panel discussed how this same report also threw cold water on any momentum surrounding DeAnthony Melton to LA. Pincus hinted that buzz around Melton to Lakers had significantly cooled, and hours later, Mark Stein doubled down, reporting that Melton is now widely expected to reunite with the Golden State Warriors. The SportsCenter team quickly reminded viewers that Melton did spend a short stint with the Warriors last season, 6 games, including 2 starts, and made a solid impression before an unfortunate injury cut his run short. With Melton seemingly on his way back to the Bay, the Lakers are now left with a major decision: pursue Beal, who offers a higher offensive ceiling, or scramble to find another defensive piece, something they're clearly short on. The segment then dove into a compelling debate. Sure, Beal is the more talented scorer, but when looking at team needs, Melton might have been the better fit, especially with how exposed LA's defense looked last season. But with Melton likely gone, it's hard to ignore the appeal of a former all-star like Beal on a short-term, team-friendly deal. He provides shot creation, spacing, and a veteran presence, all critical for a group chasing a title. As the discussion continued, SportsCenter highlighted just how close to the apron the Lakers are financially, just below the $288 million tax threshold, and how important their next move will be. The bench is a real issue. Gabe Vincent, Dalton Knecht, Jake Laravia, Jared Vanderbilt, Jackson Hayes. That's not exactly a reliable second unit. One host put it bluntly, "I don't know if I'd call it the worst bench in the league, but it's certainly in the running." There's little to no scoring upside from players like Vanderbilt or Hayes. Knecht is still a wild card, and Gabe Vincent hasn't shown the same level of production he had during his Miami run. As for Laravia, he's only averaged 6 points a game in his young career, though there's optimism he could take a leap in LA. That's what the front office was banking on when they brought him in, and based on his recent media comments, Laravia is looking for an expanded role. The panel then shifted gears, quickly scanning the market for other options. Free agency still holds a few intriguing names, but not many game-changers. Josh Giddey is a restricted free agent, and Chris Paul seems unlikely. Malcolm Brogdon came up, a defensive-minded veteran point guard who could help, though fans appear split on that idea. There's also a potential trade route, with names like Quentin Grimes and Gary Payton II mentioned as defensive upgrades who wouldn't cost too much. Of course, Beal remains the biggest name available, and with Melton all but out of the picture, the urgency is mounting. The hosts then brought up what Rob Pelinka has at his disposal: over $43 million in expiring contracts, a 2031 first-round pick, multiple pick swaps, and a handful of young assets like Knecht. With that kind of flexibility, The Lakers are armed to make a serious move, and yet the silence from the front office is growing louder. Letting Melton walk to Golden State, if the reports are true, only adds pressure. One panelist wrapped it up with a sharp point. The clock is ticking. The Lakers can't afford to wait much longer. And as SportsCenter wrapped up coverage of the Lakers' recent front office decisions, the mood in the studio shifted slightly. The conversation took a more critical tone, especially around what seems to be a missed opportunity in the case of De'Anthony Melton. While Melton is still technically a free agent, insiders like Mark Stein have strongly suggested he's leaning toward a return to Golden State, a team he briefly played for last season. And for the Lakers, that stings. The panel made it clear, losing out on Melton, especially if he's healthy and back in form, could be a costly miss. While Bradley Beal is still in the mix and certainly brings offensive firepower, there's a legitimate concern that his addition alone might not be enough to elevate the team to true contender status. For a roster that's already lacking in defensive talent, prioritizing Beal over Melton doesn't necessarily make strategic sense. Analysts pointed out a sobering reality. The Lakers might not have a single elite defender on the roster right now. The starting five is filled with offensive weapons, but none of them are lockdown defenders. On the bench, the closest thing to a stopper is Jared Vanderbilt, who, while solid on that end, struggles to stay on the floor due to his limitations on offense. And even someone like Matisse Thybulle, known for his defensive prowess, offers more shooting upside than Vanderbilt at this stage. The sentiment from the SportsCenter team was clear. If the Lakers are serious about contending, they need to inject defense into this roster, not just more scoring. Players like Thybulle or Gary Payton II were mentioned again as potential options, both capable of filling the glaring defensive void. But it wasn't all doom and gloom. The panel closed out with a bit of optimism, reflecting on recent comments made by DeAndre Ayton regarding his mindset and expectations for the upcoming season. Ayton, who recently joined the Lakers, spoke highly of his new teammate, Luka Doncic, specifically praising Luka's improved conditioning. "He's ripped. I'm just glad I'm finally on his side," Ayton reportedly said. Those kinds of comments sparked renewed hope among fans and analysts alike. If Luka really is in elite shape, and if Ayton can bring consistency and motivation, there's potential for something special in LA. The chemistry between those two could be one of the biggest stories of the season. Still, the lingering frustration with Rob Pelinka's inaction remains. As one analyst put it, this front office has flexibility. They have assets, but they have to act, and fast. Perkdus, with $43 million in expiring contracts, future draft picks, and tradable players like Dalton Knecht, the Lakers have the tools to make something big happen. But if the Melton situation is any indication, the window to act may be closing quickly. So as the dust settles for now, one thing's certain: the Lakers still have work to do. Beal might be coming, Melton might be gone, and Pelinka's next move could define this team's path forward. We'll keep you updated with every development right here on SportsCenter. Stay tuned.